This tutorial is going to look at how to utilize the wiki within your course. A wiki is a collection of collaboratively authored web pages. The wiki begins with an initial front page and adds pages through links. Depending on the setting chosen by your instructor, which is an important point I'll illustrate here in a minute, you as students are able to create original work, edit, and collaborate over activities and peer work. Okay. To access the wiki, wikis are identified by this icon right here. Okay, and so next to the icon you'll find the title of the wiki. Depending on what the instructor names it for you, you'll click on the title. That's going to drop you into the initial interface of the wiki. Now at this point I want to show you something as far as the choices the instructor has for the settings of the wiki, because that'll determine the functionality you as a student will have within the wiki. Okay. So there are essentially three types of wikis. There's a teacher, a groups, and student wiki. Okay, and depending on the setting as far as whether or not the instructor chooses one of these three, and then depending on how they align it with either no groups, separate groups, or visible groups, will determine what you're able to do. For instance, if they choose student, okay, every student has their own wiki which only they and their teacher can view and edit if they choose no groups. So it becomes an isolated place for just you as the student and the instructor. However, if they choose groups, okay, and then they choose visible groups, there is one wiki per group. Students can change the wiki of their own group only. They can view the wikis of all other groups. So the wiki that you're going to see today that I'm using for this demonstration is this wiki right here, okay, to where you'll be able to add content to your page within the wiki, but you'll be able to see what others in your group, okay, whether it be a separate group created by the instructor or just everyone in the class, you'll be able to see those pages, and I'll show you that. But I just want to make sure that this was made visible to you so you have an understanding of how what you can do within the wiki matters to the instructor setting, and so it could change. And so always feel free to ask your instructor if you feel like there's a functionality that you were used to having or had previously that isn't there, to clear up any confusion. Okay, but normally when we first drop into the wiki, there's a few things on this initial page for you to look at. Okay, one is right now the mode we're in, okay, is view. These tabs here across the middle become important. So you're currently in view mode. This means that in view mode you see the wiki as it will appear to anyone who clicks on to view it. Okay, so we see here that this space up here, alright, this is the space for the instructor to provide any directions or assignment details or activity details. So this appears at the top of each and every page within the wiki. Okay, here you see the title of the wiki, there's the name of it, and this is the space where content collects. The way that we add content to a wiki page is by going up to these tabs and clicking on the Edit tab. Now you'll see when your screen refreshes, notice up here the directions have stayed, okay, so you're always going to have that at the top to refer back to. Alright, but notice now the screen down here has changed a little bit. Okay, you're not able to change the name of this page per se because you're, in this instance the setting is such that I want every page to keep the same name. However, if your instructor was to allow you to name your page, you would be able to edit this as well. Otherwise, you're able to add content down in here. Okay, and you notice that there's an entire control bar up here. You can create hyperlinks to the web, you can add pictures, you can check for spelling. By toggling to HTML, you can embed video. You can control your fonts and your font color. You can bullet. You can number. You can align left or right. You see, you can center. You have a full array of tools available. So to add information to this page, you would simply Okay, you simply type information into that space. Okay. Now what you do next is, this is an important part, that nothing will keep, okay, or nothing will stay within the wiki if you don't then click save. So any work that you do, any comments or writing or typing or image adding or anything, none of it will keep if you don't click save. Okay. And you'll see here that by clicking save, I'm able to add my content right here. Now something else that becomes important to notice is that if you're working in one large wiki, okay, and that there aren't separate pages, that everyone's collaborating on the same page, notice here that there's no indication of who typed this information. My name didn't appear here, my profile picture didn't appear here, just the content I provided. Okay. Now one way to find out who has added content to a wiki and to be able to track that is to come up to the history tab up here. Again, looking at these tabs up here, if you click on the history tab, this will show you, okay, or give you images as to who has done what in the wiki. So you see here, like every time something is saved within the wiki, it creates a new version. Okay, so you see here version 5. So this would have been what I just did. Okay, the information that I just typed in. Okay, so you see here it gives you the author then, so your profile picture would appear as well as your name, and by clicking on that it takes you to the profile page. You see here created, so that's when the wiki was created. Last modification, that's the date today, the date and time. Okay, and references, notice here there is no particular reference. We'll come back to that idea of the question mark in a minute to kind of show you how to do page links. But that's a way to view who has done what on your wiki page, so that if you're sharing a page with a smaller group or if you're sharing the page with the entire class, you're able to see that. Okay. Something else this page offers are these 3 tools up here. One, by clicking browse, okay, we're able to go back and view the wiki. Okay, it's going to go back and show you different stages or images of the wiki. Now here it looks the same because there's just the 3. All right. If you click back on your browser to go back to this page, if I were to click fetch back, well, now this takes me back into the edit screen. Okay, and it's from here that I'm able to see what content was edited, okay, or what was done. And from this view, you're always going to be taken back to an old version of the page. So before, if you had made any changes or edits, or someone else that day had made any changes or edits, it's going to take you back to before that page. Okay, so the way the page appeared before that day. And once you save your changes, it becomes the newest version of the page. So you essentially would delete what had been done on that day. Okay. And if we go back one more time by clicking back on your browser, the next one is this last one down here is the DIFF, the difference. This highlights the difference between consecutive versions of a page. Additions have a plus symbol next to them, and deletions have a subtraction or minus symbol next to them. So you can see here that in this view, and this may be one of the more handy views to use when editing, you can see here that something was added. Okay, it's just a blank space because the content's not there, because I just added a blank space. And again, something was subtracted. You can see down here that next to this is where you can add content to the page with the plus sign. That's something that's been added. Again, under the add content, you have plus, 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 type information in this space, plus. Those are things where content would have been added, but I deleted them. Okay, so at one point content existed there. Okay, so it gives you a nice feeling to show what has been brought into the page and what has been added and what hasn't. So to kind of get out of this mode, you can always either click on one of these tabs to go back to view or edit or links. So I'm going to click on edit. Okay. Now what I want to show you is how to create a subpage within your wiki. So essentially what I'm going to show you here is how to take your wiki page all right, that initial page that you're accessing, and to be able to create a subpage or a link off of it. This could become important because as you're working in a group, if you have a large enough project that requires multiple pages or multiple aspects to it, rather than creating a long scrolling page, which is what you could do, you can create subpages off of it, okay? And the way you create subpages is that within edit mode, okay, you first, whatever word or phrase, essentially whatever title you're going to give your next page, you're going to place within hard brackets, okay? And hard brackets look like this. So you're going to hold down, okay, you're going to press the key essentially directly to the right of the P, okay? You're not going to hold down shift or anything like that. You're going to put the hard brackets on there. All right, at the beginning, and then you put hard brackets on there at the end and close it, okay? And then you're going to hit save. Now notice what this does. It takes you to the view mode. And in view mode, you see the little question mark back there, and it's a blue link, but this hasn't linked yet. So what you have to do to link the title, you're going to have to click on the question mark. Now essentially, see how this brought us into a blank page. And notice up here that the title of the page is, this is to create a new page, which is what I typed in previously. So then you add content. And just like before, you'll save your changes. Okay. Now you'll see here, this is the view mode for your new page. So this is to create a new page. Okay. So this is the content we've added. Down here it says referring links. So this is telling you that this page links to Test Wiki, which is our main page. Now by clicking on that, it takes me back to the main page, which is the first page you drop into when you first click on your wiki title. And notice in here now the new page we created has a link to it. So by clicking on that, it'll take me to that page. Okay. From here, I'm going to go ahead and end this tutorial. To learn how to search through the wiki, as far as to search for content within the wiki, to work through the various links within the wiki and what all these mean, as well as how to access and view other pages or other students' pages within the wiki. That'll be covered in the next tutorial.